Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one.
Sunday night, Chicagoland Speedway. 15 drivers rolled in, but only 10 leave alive in the playoffs. No win and you're in, just points, pressure, and the cut line. Only leads, but the margin's tight. Singing and Leo ready to fight. Hudson and Pogo holding their ground, but one bad corner could turn it around. Lawson pushing, trying to stay clear. Barker and Raposa feel the danger near. Jim Altang hit it on by 3. Every start shaking that dream. 10 will survive tonight. 5 will fall in the playoff fight. No lucky break, no saving line. Just horsepower hearts in the cut line. When the checkered flag meets the lights, the numbers decide who survives in the 82 Winston Cup tonight. 10 move on, 5 say goodbye. Frogger riding the razor edge. Caton and Ritter chasing the ledge. Garin digging 7 points down, trying to steal that final round. Easily praying for something late. Holcroft racing against his fate. 15 drivers chasing the crown, but only 10 when the sun goes down. 10 will survive tonight. 5 will fall in the playoff fight. No win and you're in to save the day. Just points and pressure all the way under Chicagoland. Lights, 7 lights where the Braves still risk it all tonight. In the 802 Winston Cup tonight. 10 move on, 5 say goodbye.
Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the show. Tonight we got a good one here. It is elimination race. That's right. This is the final race of the round of 15 here, leaving tonight. 5 drivers will be eliminated in the standings, and that'll leave 10 left to fight for their playoff chances starting next week for the round of 12. Right now, we of course got qualifying going. Rob Lowell across the stripe there. Second lap was better, 29.96 for the 21 machine. As we take a look now at a driver below the cut line, Steve Ritter here in the 61 machine. He is hoping for some luck here tonight and to just sneak his way into the top 10 and still have a fighting chance here at the championship. Ritter on his first lap here at the start finish line. Ritter will go P number 7 there, lap number 1. We'll see what Steve can do here, lap number 2. Just like we've had all season long here, folks. 2-lap qualifying will take your best time of the 2 laps. Then from there, we'll set tonight's starting lineup. So I tell you what, it's going to be a good one here. Steve Ritter through 3 and 4 for the final time here in qualifying. And right now, it is Scott Simley with the best time. Let's take a look at everyone's lap time here tonight. As Ritter across the stripe, lap number 2, not going to be better. 30.22 lap number 2. A driver here that has really turned it on up when it has come playoff time. That is Frank Zingen in the 62 machine. Here coming into tonight, Frank sits second in the points here before the reset. So Frank's probably feeling pretty comfortable here coming into Chicagoland. Just has to take the green flag, and he should be able to rock and roll to the round of 10. But here tonight, we got a lot of cars, I believe, just shy of 25 cars here on the premise ready to do battle. So it's going to be a barn burner at that, because these next-gen cars here at these kind of 1.5-mile, 2-mile racetracks, race really, really well. Zingen able to improve their lap number 2. He will jump up to P number 8, but right now it is still Scott Simley with the quick time here tonight. Looks like everyone else here wrapping up their qualifying times. But like I said, the 33 machine's still out here doing laps, so he's looking pretty good. But it looks like no other driver here maybe gonna take a time. So Simley gonna get some last minute practice here in this 33 machine out on track. And that's totally allowed here in qualifying. Don't have to do anything. Trying out some pit road entry. Definitely found the limit there, as he will just kiss the wall. But I gotta say, I tell you what, Scott Simley, I'm pretty sure here with his first Sunday Night Pole Award. So Scott Simley walking away with the Riptide Radio Pole Award. So congrats big time to Scott with that. And he will be leading the field to the green flag. Speaking about the field, why don't we head down trackside and go through tonight's starting lineup for this 140-lap battle here tonight. Alrighty, folks, we get ready to turn them on loose here tonight for 140 laps. Here will be tonight's starting lineup for the cutoff race of the round of 15. Scott Simley not in the playoffs here with his white number, but that doesn't matter. He is still out here chasing checkered flags. He will lead the field to the green flag. To his outside, the best qualifying playoff driver. That is the 21 machine of Rob Lowell. Anthony Calatoni here. He has been on a hot streak since these playoffs has started. Coming into tonight with the points lead. He's sitting in a really good spot with the win last week at Dover. He will roll off P number 3. Nick Larson in the 2 machine. He will start 4th and rounding out the top 5. Regular season champion. It is Jeff Pogo. Jim Ott will roll off in 6th position. 7th going to Johnny Barker. Frank Zingen will roll off 8th. Joey Gattina in 9th. And Eli Raposa will round out the top 10 here. Starting in 11th is Reba Caton. rolling off 12th will be Steve Ritter. 13th is Joe Hudson here tonight. 14th going to Mike Kelly, Chris Progar. In the 7 will start 15th. Progar in an interesting spot. He is the cutoff driver. Jason Wiley will start 16th. Glad to see him out here racing here tonight. Brandon Guerin will start 17th. Ron Holyfield in 18th. Steve Vest in 19th. 20th going to Nate Brooker. 21st is Sean Deal. Bryson Anderson will roll off 22nd. And Todd Parent here tonight will start shotgun on the field, but Todd not making the call to the green, so we'll see if he can get back out here. But here we go, folks. Scott Simley, Rob Lowell gonna lead the field to the green, and here we go. We are green flag racing here at Chicagoland for the elimination race of the round of 15. Field diving into turn number 1 here. Rob Lowell not getting a good start on that outside lane. That kind of bottled up that lane a little bit. We saw a little bit of 3 wide racing there, but everyone is mostly here calming on down for the time being. As we take a look here, just as I say that, almost 3 wide once again out here. But lap number 1 will be led by Scott Simley. So everyone chasing that 33 machine for the time being. We take a look here, Rob Lowell getting back to P number 3. Just got around Jeff Pogo for position down the backstretch. Not sure if there was contact, but Jim Ott kind of weaving that race car just a little bit. Ott, one of the favorites when it came to playoff time, but he sits just above the cutoff line. 3 points to the good over the 7 machine, so Ott needs to do what he did last week, and that is have himself a solid night, no big mistakes, and he should be able to just sneak into the next round. As we see Ott get around his teammate of Jeff Pogo. Ott into P number 4, but up in front, battle for the race lead. Here comes Anthony Calatoni. Calatoni here trying to make it 2 in a row. Of course, last week he won there at Dover. Here tonight trying to, like I said, make it 2 in a row. And right now, doing a great job at that. He has taken over the race lead. Now here comes Rob Lowell looking to the outside of Scott Simley. Able to get a nose up there. Aggressive move, but that's how it's got to be here tonight. We know there's a cutoff race at stake. Every point matters. And here goes Rob Lowell to the point. Lowell will pick up a bonus point for the lap led there, just edging out Anthony Calatoni. Frank Zingen here down on pit road early. Like I said, had himself a pretty good buffer when it came to the points, but I would assume this is not a scheduled stop by the 62, so interesting here. We will keep an eye on him. A little bit further back here, drivers making their way up towards the front. That is Mike Kelly, as well as the 7 machine of Chris Progar. Progar up 3 positions, Mike Kelly up 4, so keep an eye on those 2 cars, the 43 and the 7 machine. Frank Zingen able to get back out there on the speedway, so it looks like he kind of just rolled down pit road. I believe the 62 may have gotten a penalty from the start of the race, so man, you hate to see that early in this one. Luckily a long stretch ahead of him, but the bad news for the 62 machine, the last 2 races have gone green to checkered, and here tonight being another kind of bigger track, it has another great chance of going green to checkered here. Mike Kelly here continuing to make his way towards the front. Kelly up into the top 10 already. He had himself, I thought, a pretty good race on Friday night when it came to the Busch Series or the Riley Series car, and Mike Kelly was driving his way to the front, then got sent down into this backstretch grass. No fault of his own, actually twice in the night, and after the second time that car got killed, he called it a night there, so should be interesting to see what he can do here if he, doesn't get caught up in anyone else's mess. Up towards the front, battling for the race lead. Once again, 3 playoff drivers here in the thick of it. 2 of them side by side now. Jim Ott starting to put some pressure on right behind them as well. So still heads up racing from these 2 out here. These 2 have been stuck side by side. It seems like most top laps than not. As old Cal Tony with an issue off of turn number 2. He will keep that car facing in the right direction, get that thing back rolling, but he will lose a lot of spots because of it. Cal Tony goes from P number 1 all the way back to P20 with that. So let's take a look here, see what happened to the 84 machine off of turn number 4. And you can see that car start to bounce just a little bit. And here with these next gen cars being so low to the ground, having no real side bite or side force with the sidewalls, that car just started bouncing, breaking the traction, and that is the end result right there. Cal Tony going through a small slide through the grass, but even with that, has been exiled pretty much to his own island out here on the speedway. So he will start to put his head down. Next car in front of him, the 7 machine. Progar having an issue as well. Not sure what happened to him, but he finds himself now back in P number 19. Definitely not where he wants to be at here. Yeah, we'll try and find an update here for the 07 machine, as here we go. And just like we saw Cal Tony, but a lap earlier, Chris Progar, big time loose off of turn number 2. He was able to somehow save that race car as well. But man, I guess that is something we are going to have to keep our eye out here tonight, is these cars getting out of control, exiting on the low side of turn number 4 here. As we see Joe Hudson here make a move on this 14 machine of Joey Gattina. Then Steve Ritter right behind him. Ritter almost into the left rear quarter panel there. Luckily, no harm, no foul here in that one. As we get our first caution here of the evening, we will have to take a look here, see what happened out here on the racetrack. But looks like it will involve the 32 machine of Bryson Anderson. So this will draw out our first caution here in 3 weeks. And once again, we see a car here getting loose off of turn number 4. And Bryson Anderson actually gets up there on the apron, down there on the bottom side of the racetrack. That's only going to cause that car to get even more out of control. And it looks like that thing might whip way here. Does a 7 just sneak on by? Man. Woohoo! Chris Progar just able to sneak on through. You saw him have to get, big time on the binders there just to try and avoid him. And man, that could have been big time bad. As I say, let's try and ride on board with the 7 machine here and see what he saw, because man, it couldn't have been much. Here we go, full speed. And man, I tell you what, some lightning fast reaction times there, as a 7 machine gonna live to fight another day. And I tell you what, he needs a here tonight. He comes on, like I said, comes into tonight in the cutoff spot, so he has his work cut out for him. Has to at least try and stay in front of a few cars around him. And with our first caution, let's take a look here at the point standings. Dan Holcroft and Kip Easley both way out of contention. Both those cars not here tonight, so at least the 7 machine here doesn't have to worry about 2 cars, but has to worry about a few others. Brandon Guerin here tonight comes in about 8 points or so back. He would need to beat the 7 machine by 8 points. Right now, Brandon Guerin sits in P number 8. another driver here below the cutoff line, Reba Caton. Caden, I've talked to him before. He was pumped up just to make the playoffs. Would love to see what kind of run he could have into them, but he has his work cut out for him here tonight, coming in just 3 points behind the cutoff line. So he would just have to make up 3 positions compared to the 7 right now, doing just that. But then there's one other car here below the cutoff. That is the 61 machine of Steve Ritter. Ritter right behind Caton here currently, and Ritter sits in 7th. So those are kind of the cars we got to keep an eye on here in the points. The 30, the 61, the 1, and then the 7. All of them in danger of getting eliminated. Another driver right there as well, Jim Ott. He sits, though, on the positive side of the cut line. Ott currently P number 2, and then another one still kind of in the danger zone. That is Eli Raposa as well in the 46. Raposa right now going to roll off in 9th. So a lot of drivers here in some desperate need of some playoff points. Right here on the low side of the top 10, we have 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. As here we go, folks. Once again, we get the lights extinguished here on the iRacing pace car. So next time by, we are going green flag racing, and our first restart in over, I want to say, close to almost 300 laps. And we get our first restart of the playoffs as well here tonight, here on lap about 15 or so. So still definitely in the early parts of this race, but still a lot can happen as here we go. Rob Lowell will lead the field to the green flag. Jim Ott, the car to his outside. The iRacing pace car here heads down pit road, and once again, we get ready to turn them back on loose here tonight. And here we go. We are back to green flag racing here. So far, so good out in front. Jim Ott has a big run, though, on Rob Lowell. He will take a peek to the outside. Can't do anything with it. A little bit deeper back here, we see 3 wide racing as Anthony Calatoni. He's one of those drivers says, you know what? I have the chance to gamble here. We're going to go come in, take some tires. We'll see what he can do as Calatoni quickly trying to race his way here back into the top 10. As everything here trying to sort themselves out. Jeez, I guess it's been a long night here. Still got a lot of racing left to go here, but everyone's still slicing and dicing, trying to keep some clean air on the nose of their race cars through the corner, but trying to get as much draft here on these straightaways. So that's why we'll see it kind of really fan on out into the corners, really condense back down here, down these straightaways as we ride on board here with the 30 machine of Caton. I tell you what, Caton has been holding up his own here tonight. He has been putting on a good first 20 laps. I hope he can do it here for these last 120, but I've been pretty impressed here from this 30 machine running inside the top 10 here pretty much since the start of the race here tonight. Up in front, Rob Lowell leads the way over Jim Ott. Here comes Ott once again trying to make a move on this 21 machine. Rob Lowell, though, will get a piece of the wall there off of turn number 4. No harm, no foul. That car still looks all good. Still in one piece, so that's all that matters. He definitely now knows where the limit of the track is, where the right side of that race car is at. Head back into the thick of things here towards this battle right around the top 10 and just behind it here as we continue to see cars side by side. Eli Raposa here under some fire by quite a few cars. A lot of cars going around him on those fresher tires, so that can definitely make sense here for the time being, as we see the 46 here head up to the top side of Frank Zingen, trying to get around this 46 machine. So 22 cars here tonight took the green flag. 22 cars still out here on the racetrack. Only one caution so far. That was from Bryson Anderson, as we see right there. Anderson getting the wall there off of turn number 4, so you can see the damage on the right front. That's definitely not helping the race car, and probably hoping to get into the wall like we just saw there. Up towards the front, Steve Ritter continues to make his charge towards the front. Ritter kind of running around the top 10 up until that first caution. Since then, the 61 has turned it back up here. Ritter, one of those drivers below the cut line. Same with the driver of the one car right behind. Both those drivers need some good points coming out of tonight, and right now doing just that as they sit 5th and 6th here currently. Up in front, new race leader Jim Ott has taken over the point, so the Ford machine dug himself out of a deep hole from Michigan. Remember, Michigan, Jim Ott lost connection in the race, no fault of his own. Had a 6th place at Dover last week. Here tonight, leading the way. That's one way you can go from below the cut line into the playoffs and above the cut line here. Further on back here, I think Nick Larson may have gotten the wall there down the back straightaway. That 2 machine a little bit off the pace, but trying to get that momentum back, wound on up as he lost a handful of spots, but definitely still in this thing here. Larson coming into tonight's 6th in points. Just about 11 points in front of that 7 machine. And that 7 machine sits right behind the 2 here currently. So Larson just needs to have himself a solid night here tonight in that 2. And he'll probably walk out of here into the round of 10. Anthony Caltoni continues to make his way up through this field here. Caltoni actually not taking tires there. Decided, he was in the back there. Decided not to take them, and I tell you what, has looked very sporty, able to drive up here through this field for the most part. Once again here tonight, we get some big time racing here deeper in this field. The driver that led the field to the green flag, Scott Simley, here in the thick of it as well, the 33 machine. He definitely came down pit road, took some tires on that race car, so we'll see how... Actually, I take that back. I think a lot of the cars that did come down pit road, as we got contact actually here down the front straightaway, Scott Simley will go on around here, and it looks like Simley will bring it to a stop here. He will get that thing back rolling, but I believe Simley there having some help from the 7 machine. We will take a look here, see what happened. As going down the front straightaway, Chris Proger to the inside of Scott Simley, and ooh, that's a tough one there. Maybe both them going for the draft, but I think maybe the 7 car drifted up just a little bit more, and then for sure got into the left rear of the 33 machine, sending that car sideways. Luckily, no harm, no foul, but probably from here we'll see a much busier pit road here, as everyone will probably come in, take off these sets of tires, and of course fill it up with that race fuel, trying to make it a one-stopper from here on out. It's going to be close, but I believe it might be able to be done. As we will keep an eye here for the field to head to pit road here, as this time by pit road is open, so We will see now Jim Ott lead the entire field, and it's going to be a busy pit road here as we see everyone down here on lap 31. A few takers to stay on out, maybe to lead a lap. Mike Kelly going to stay out. Same with Joe Hudson, as everyone else, though, like I said, down here on pit road. We will keep an eye out here, see who wins this race off of pit road. As, yeah, like I said, full service for all of these race cars here. 4 tires filling it up with that virtual race fuel, as it'll be Jim Ott out first. Then it is Rob Lowell, Jeff Pogo, Steve Ritter, and Nate Brooker going to be the top 5 off of pit road there. So with us under our first caution of the evening, I'm going to go throw it over to a quick commercial break from our partners over at Premier Setup Shop. Also try and get this overlay, make sure that it doesn't show black here once the caution flag comes on out. So we'll be right back here after a quick commercial break. Alrighty, folks, we come back here to Chicagoland Speedway. Have things looking a little bit better. Let me tell you what, I'm definitely digging it here as once again, here we go, getting ready for the second restart of the night. So it's been a while since we've seen a caution here tonight. Already 2 of them here with over 100 laps still left in this one. A few drivers here gambling on staying on out. That is Joe Hudson, Mike Kelly, and Scott Simley. Everyone else with some fresh tires full of race fuel. So it should be an interesting strategy call. We'll see how it works on out as we get ready to turn them on loose. Mike Kelly going to be in control here and ready to lead the field back to green flag. iRacing pace car heads down pit road, and here we go. Mike Kelly on the loud pedal, and we head back to green flag racing here at Chicagoland for the Windy City 210. Kelly able to get on away by himself out in front. Jim Ott using those new tires are already very nicely on with a big run there down the back straightaway as we hear the cars flying on by as they get up to speed here. Jim Ott quickly trying to get back to the race lead here. And I tell you what, doing a good job at that. Right behind them, 3 wide. How will this work on out? Jeff Pogo up top, Steve Ritter down low. Scott Simley, the meat in the sandwich. Everyone hanging on to their stuff for the time being. Simley has to be careful here, though. Once again, could be stuck once again in the middle of 3 wide. That looks like it will not be the case. Brandon Guerin just getting out of the throttle, cutting that car down low and just finding a gap. But right behind them, they say, you know what, we'll go 3 wide here. So everyone running their race. And I tell you what, up in this mix here, Nate Brooker in this 00 machine, running a little bit different colors, some black and purple here tonight. And I've been impressed with Brooker here. He is up about 9 or 10 positions here, has driven his way up through this field, so keep an eye on him. Had his career best finish last week at Dover, and here tonight seems like he could be a force to reckon with, especially one of those inside the top 10 here. Out in front, Jim Ott has taken over the race lead here over Mike Kelly. Now here comes Rob Lowell to try and get on around as well. Right behind them, Steve Ritter, Jeff Pogo duking it on out. That is a battle for the 5th position here currently. They still have a few drivers with some older tires up in front of them, that being Joe Hudson as well as Mike Kelly here. Rob Lowell to the inside of Mike Kelly. He will get clear off of turn number 2. One car big time sideways. That was Joe Hudson. Hudson with a heck of a save down the back straightaway. Able to keep that race car underneath him. Didn't lose too many spots, but he's got to be careful. Make sure he keeps that right rear underneath him, because we see now almost a handful of race cars having trouble off of turn number 4. So haven't seen too many cars in trouble off of 2, but there we just saw that as we see Jeff Pogo getting around Mike Kelly. Pogo into the top 3 here. Anthony Calatoni continues to work his way back up through the field here tonight. Calatoni to the outside of Steve Ritter. Gonna have a big run here as Jeff Pogo didn't get a good exit there. Calatoni gonna have to lose all of his momentum there. And Calatoni now under fire from that pack right behind him. Wow. That just goes to show how much keeping the momentum, keeping the race car underneath them. As one car sideways there, that is Joey Gattina, as Gattina will get hit. And then Bryson Anderson collected, same with Sean Deal. Oh man, Deal with a lot of damage. His night probably going to come to an end with that one. And I think that may have started with the 14 machine, as we will take a look here. Yeah, we already see here Joey Gattina out of control. Man, Ariba Caton just able to sneak on by. Nick Larson also as well. Eli Raposa, a lot of drivers, playoff drivers there, big time misses. But then Sean Deal having nowhere to go, and Bryson Anderson, man, a big time hit between the two of them. And just a unlucky bystander there. Wow. So that will bring out our third caution here of the evening. And yeah, some close calls right there by quite a few drivers. As what do we say, this one should probably be, pretty straightforward when it comes to calls here. So let's try and get a word with here the driver of the 7 machine, Chris Proger. He's always good with jumping in the booth after a tough night. So we'll see if he's got a quick word to say here and see what he's got for a copy and his thoughts are with tonight. Hey, Chris, you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Hey, what's going on, Brett?
Oh, man, I tell you what, it's got to be a stressful race, and it hasn't been an easy one for you. A big save, a close avoidance there, and now right back in the thick of it. Tell us about your race and your thoughts so far.
Yeah, it's hard work. Like, I'm like, don't let the nerves get to me, and the nerves are absolutely getting to me. So, I don't know. I gotta remember to breathe.
Yeah, that you do, because, cutoff race, you're right at the cutoff, a lot at stake, but at the end of the day, you put together a good race, you could not even be the cutoff driver, right, when it's all said and done?
Yeah. Well, I'm in 9th, and Ritter's in 4th, so I got 5 spots. Basically, I just got to make 3 spots up on him. As long as I can stay within 2 of him, I'm good. I've got Arabia behind me, so I gotta just be smart.
Yeah, that you do. It sounds like we're getting them doubled on up here, so we'll let you get back to it. But before we do, Chris, anyone you want to shout out to on the broadcast here?
Well, hopefully my wife is watching, so I love you, dear. Thank you, and I want to thank Motion. Fantastic company to work for, and absolutely amped to have them on the car.
Alrighty, well, we appreciate the quick chat here, Chris. Best of luck here for the rest of the race.
Thanks, Brett.
Alrighty, folks, that was Chris Proger, the driver of the number 7 machine, getting a quick word with him. And I tell you what, like we talked about. Big time pressure coming into tonight. He is definitely feeling it, but he's doing everything right so far, keeping himself out of any sort of big incidents. We'll see what he can do here on this third restart of the night. Once again, it's Jim Ott, Rob Lowell on the front row. This time, though, it's Jim Ott in control as we get ready to send the field back under green flag here. The iRacing pace car here ducks down to pit road, and Jim Ott, Jeff Pogo, a great restart between the two of them. Two teammates working together. Rob Lowell's going to lose a handful of spots, almost a handful of spots there when it's all said and done. Now Lowell and Ritter, two teammates side by side here. Down the backstretch they go. Rob Lowell up in that third groove, let's call it. Building that momentum back up in that race car there and trying to get back a few of those positions he lost there at the start. Out in front, Jim Ott starting to check out from this field, but that is because here Anthony Calatoni, Jeff Pogo, two favorites coming into tonight side by side for that second position. Now here comes Rob Lowell. He has got that 21 machine wound on up on the top side. He is making it work. He will get clear of Calatoni. We'll see if he can get around Jeff Pogo here in a few laps, but everyone else here, I tell you what, deeper in the field, kind of hanging on out for the time being. Side-by-side battle between Raposa and Caton Arabia here, hanging on to the spot there and the 30 machine. So, of course, those two drivers battling for the points here and some desperate need of those points. Rob Lowell there gets a little bit tight, had to chase the race car up the racetrack. Maybe he had to lift. That kills the momentum in the 21 machine. Here comes Frank Zingen. Zingen will get on by. Now here comes Ritter, and with that, Calatoni able to just get clear by Pogo. While Pogo kept his foot in it, got the piece of the wall a little bit deeper. There's some blocks being thrown. Rob Lowell saying, hey, we can't afford to bleed too many spots here. Brandon Guerin saying, hey, we got to get every spot we can below that cutoff line. He needs to make up some spots here, especially from the 7 machine. But that 7 machine staying right on the back bumper of the 1 here. Calatoni and Pogo still duking it out for that second position here. Those two, though, getting a little bit of breathing room as Frank Zingen about 0.4 of a second back, but he could easily close on up, especially with the draft and how important it is here tonight. As we see Calatoni there get clear of Jeff Pogo. Calatoni absolutely ripping that car, though. He was big time sideways there off of turn number 2. That allows Pogo to get on by, and maybe even Frank Zingen as well. Zingen clear for a split second, though not going to force the issue this early in this one. Still about 90 laps left here tonight. We have 3 cars out of the race here tonight. Joey Gattina, Sean Deal, Bryson Anderson. 19 cars still out here on the racetrack, and with that, maybe we'll just leave the top 20 standings here for the rest of the race. And like I said here, previous broadcast, maybe not tonight, drivers with the pink numbers, those are the drivers fighting for their playoffs hopes here, 15 of them. And then after tonight, the bottom 5 gonna get cut on off, eliminated from contention. And next week we will start the round of 10. Oh, 2 cars into the wall here. Rob Lowe being one of them, and Chris Progard the other. Oh no, you hate to see it for a playoff driver right on the bubble, as Rob Lowe looks like he will try and limp his car to pits. We'll see if he can. And it looks like a tough break for the 7 as both those cars with some pretty heavy damage. We'll take a look here, see what happened into turn number 1. We already see, both cars into the wall. Here we go. We can see it here down the back straightaway 3 and 4. And what led to the incident into turn number 1 is a replay here, folks. Taking a look, see what happened as Chris Progard to the outside of Rob Lowe. Lowe down low, trying to get clear. Thought maybe he was clear. The 7 car was there, and a big time hit to the wall for both of them as Rob able to limp that car. Chris already in pits here. We'll see if he can get that car repaired, but that right front definitely pushed back there. Man, big time playoff implications. I think Rob Lowe is at least good enough in the points, let's say. It's going to be tight because he sits 18th. He came in with about a 20-point advantage. So when it comes down to, let's say Steve Ritter, Brandon Guerin, if they could put together a really, really good race, I don't think it'll be enough, though, when all things are considered, because I think those guys came in about 23 points back. So I think Rob Lowe sits in a good enough spot to be all right when all things are considered here tonight. Up in front here, we see the field starting to spread on out. Drivers starting to get in a rhythm, really see what kind of pace cars can have. And I tell you what, one of the cars with the best pace out here tonight is our current race leader, Jim Ott. Ott here sits leading the way. Then it is Jeff Pogo in second. Anthony Calatoni hot on his heels in third. Steve Ritter sits in P number 4. Ritter coming into tonight, like I said, below the cutoff line, needs to do whatever he can right now, doing just that. And Brandon Guerin, another one of those drivers below this cutoff line, he comes into tonight, over 10 points back from like Raposa and those cars. That is where he's going to be able to make up the time if he can. Same with the 7 machine of Chris Proger, as we have Chris and Rob here both in the waiting room. So we will get a word, I believe, first with the driver of the 7 machine. We of course chatted with him during the last caution. Sadly get to chat with him out of the infield care center. Let's grab a word with the driver of the 7 machine, whose playoff hopes probably will come to an end here tonight. Chris, you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Hey, Brett. Long time no talk.
Oh, I know, right? One driver we didn't want to be talking to right away is you, my man.
Yeah.
I mean, what'd you see there and what happened?
I was just talking to Rob before he pulled me up, and he was like, yeah, I was clear, and then I started coming up, and then I wasn't clear, and it was too late. And I was like, yeah. Well, I probably could have given him a little bit more room. I had some space up top, but I was just kind of flowing up there. I didn't expect him to come up that fast. So
Yeah, and that he
it's
did
just
it.
as much.
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, I was gonna say it's just as much on me as it is him. I could have gone up a little bit higher. So.
Yeah, definitely one of those racing deals, but like you said, it happened very, very quick. I mean, pretty much no time to react, because once you pretty much probably even saw the car, right, it was already in your lap, let's say.
Yeah, he was already there. There was not much I could do. I mean, I had a little bit of an opportunity with Winnie Anderson when his car just right hooked on the front of the track. I had more time there than I did with Rob.
Yeah, that you did, and that was a close call in and of itself. I mean, man, how were you able to just sneak your way through that one?
I don't know. I really don't have any idea how I made it through that.
Yeah, and I mean, tough night for you because, like we were talking about a little bit before, the pressure of this race coming in with being the cutoff car, a lot on there. And then, sadly, your playoff hopes come to probably an end here tonight. But, hey, man, you made it to the playoffs. We weren't even sure you were going to make it right coming into the start of these.
Yeah, no, it's just bonus rounds. I had 3 bonus rounds. But, I love Chicagoland. It's a great track. I enjoy racing it. So, yeah, better not. We'll go to Vegas next week and try and just play spoiler now.
Yeah, that you can start to once again chase after those checkered flags. But sad to see your night here end early, of course, here tonight, man. But yeah, overall, how we feeling? I believe I'm gonna go take a look here real quick, see what the schedule is for next week. Next week we head to Vegas. How do you feel about that place?
Vegas is here. It's actually, so what's weird is Chicagoland's driving like Vegas, and Vegas drives like Chicagoland. So like Vegas, you would get loose after about 8 laps, and then you kind of baby it for a few, and then pick back in. We just ran Vegas in another league, and it was glued the whole time. And now here, you're loose after 8 laps.
Wow, yeah, definitely a big time difference. And actually, we got a caution flag here on the speedway right before the halfway point. And once again, we see another car getting loose off of turn number 4 and then having an incident. Of course, Chris, we'll maybe pick your brain about this, being in the seat and you having yourself even, a loose moment off of turn number 4. What's making it so tough? Is it the bumps, or are these cars just that unpredictable, let's say?
I mean, the bumps in 3 and 4 are pretty rough, so you can get the car unseated there. But in practice, I was getting loose off of 2, and it was just nothing there. And then all of a sudden, it was just, all right, we're just not going to grip anymore. So it's just a little bit of everything. But I really don't know. I think the car's kind of bottoming a little bit on the bumps. I think that's what's doing it.
Yeah, it could definitely be the case. We saw a few guys like Anthony Calatoni, on the bottom side especially, start to bounce a little bit. Once that happens, man, you're along for the ride, right?
Yeah, I mean, thankfully enough, Anthony saved it. I was able to save it. Neither one of us had to do anything, major, and neither one of us brought out a caution. So, I mean, that was good.
Yeah, that it was. It was definitely a heck of a save. Sadly, of course, your night coming to an end a little bit early. But, Chris, I tell you what, I think at this rate here this season, you win the award for infield care center interviews.
Well, I mean, it's you want to talk to us. So, I mean, I'll be here. Anytime you want to talk, I'm your guy.
Alrighty, well, awesome stuff, Chris. We appreciate you taking the time always to chat with us. Always a great time, my man. So, I guess here tonight.
Have a great night, Brett.
Yeah, you as well, Chris. Have a good one.
Thanks.
Alrighty, we took a look there. Some not green flag pit stops, excuse me. Some pit stops here by the field, and it looks like Jim Ott, the first car off of pit road, and Jim Ott getting busted for speeding on pit road. Oh no, Jim Ott was the first car off, but that will not be the case. We'll have to go to the tail end of the field here and, be stuck towards the back. And, you hate to see it for Jim Ott. Definitely one of the cars to beat. Luckily for him, still over half of this race left, but, man, big-time storylines. Some of the other drivers here, the first off of pit road, like I said, now will be Anthony Calatoni, Jeff Pogo, Steve Ritter, and I believe Frank Zingen now into the top 5 off of pit road. So lights go out on the iRacing pace car here, so we will double up the field, get ready to rock and roll. And then with that, I believe we have yet another driver can talk to here. That is the driver of the 21 machine, Rob Lowell. So we'll give the green flag call once again. And once things kind of settle on down for the time being, we can chat with the 21 here. Also, luckily for him, coming into tonight with a pretty big points cushion, with Joe Hudson here out of the race. I believe disconnected some way, somehow. So Hudson coming in, with about a 9-point advantage. So definitely could be enough. It's going to be close. Hopefully Hudson can make it back out here. But another big-time storyline to watch as here we go. Mike Kelly, Scott Simley on the front row. Kelly in control. He will fire on off. And a little bit of accordion stack up there by the field as everyone get it rock and rolling. So far, so good. But it's going to be a gaggle of cars 2x2 here tonight. Through 1 and 2, the field will go. And so far, so good. Scott Simley going to get swallowed on up, though, by those new tires, by the cars around him. As we see Jeff Pogo here jump to this outside lane, he will try and get on by the 33 as quickly as possible. Looks like going to do just that. A driver we got to keep an eye on as well to make his way up through the field. That is the 4 of Jim Ott. Ott already almost back into the top 10 here, so he's trying to make quick work as much as possible. You can see some of the cars here dueling it on out right in front of Brandon Guerin. Guerin just able to get around Nate Brooker as well. And here we go, battle for the race lead. Cal Tony to the inside of Mike Kelly. Kelly will go up to the top side here. Kelly about 20 lap older tires on the field, but right now doing a great job at keeping the pace here and will hang on to the race lead for the time being. Who of these two will be the car to lead here at the halfway point off of turn number 4? Give it to Anthony Calatoni. Calatoni here will lead at the cross flags. And with that, let's get a word here from the driver of the 21 machine, Rob Lowell. Rob, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Hey, Brett, how's it going?
It's going pretty good, man. Sadly, probably not as good for the 21 machine. Rob, what happened there? How you feeling?
I just feel horrible for Chris. To be the guy that takes the bubble guy out just is a horrible feeling. And the last thing I wanted going into tonight, I don't know what to say. I got my head hung in shame.
Yeah, definitely a tough break there. And, Chris even said, definitely a racing deal, both cars at fault. But from your perspective, what'd you kind of see? Did you even know Chris was up there?
My spotter had said clear, and I was coming up off the apron, and when you make that transition, you can't put a lot of wheel in it, and about the time I'm halfway up across, my spotter, I used Dre, started giving me the, there's like a closing whistle that lets you know someone's driving up on your right rear quarter, and there's nothing to do at that point. I was coming up the track, there's no way I was going to stop, and I tried to get away from him. I couldn't. I didn't realize. I thought I had the steam down across off the corner. I got inside of him. Thought it said it was clear. Started to come up because I wanted to get to the top down in 1 and 2. Because I wasn't gonna have the angle to run the bottom, so I said, well, I'll get to the top and have the angle to run the top. And the spotter said just about the time we had contact, he was there. And the rest is history.
Yeah, definitely a tough break there, but the good news for you, Rob, I think you accumulated enough points that you can just make your way into the round of 10, so you can at least put this round behind you. How you feeling, next week to start the round of 10 there at Vegas as well?
I feel okay about Vegas. The whole problem tonight was both on the original start and on that last restart is being on the outside. I was so worried about not making a mistake and not jumping the start. I was too tentative, and I got back in traffic on the start. I was able to get through it and get to the lead, and then that one there, I was fast enough to get back up in the top 3. I got too impatient, tried to come up there, and I should have just waited one more lap. I was quicker than Chris. I didn't need to push it there, so been the one preaching to my teammates all week, no mistakes, and I made the biggest one of the night of the season for me, I think.
Yeah, definitely a tough break there. But yeah, going back to tonight, man, I tell you what, Rob, you had that top side rocking and rolling, but it seemed like at the end of the day, man, momentum is the name of the game here tonight. When you get those big runs, man, can you make some wild moves.
Yeah, and as the run goes, so I found it. I listened to iRacers Launch podcast on Friday when it came out, and they were talking about this new dynamic track with the rubber going down. And they talked to the devs at iRacing, and one of the devs explained to them, as the rubber goes down, you see the track turn black. That's actually going to heat the tires up in that black. And if you want to be fast, you need to search for where there's not the rubber. And that's what I did Friday night at the bush race. I found that strip right along the wall was still kind of light gray, almost whitish. And you could just put your right front and your right rear in it and just pound the laps out. And then tonight, about lap 10, I saw that the same thing was happening. That bottom lane was starting to rubber up, and I went to the top, and then Jim was pushing pretty hard, and I was like, well, I don't know how long this is going to go green. We had that first pit stop, and we had talked if it stayed green, we were going to try to go to like 55, 60. So I'm like, well, I want to save a little bit. And, yeah. I think I have it figured out this way this track is now. You got to move around. You can't run the same line all the time. It's gonna rubber up and just hit the tires.
Oh yeah, yep, and that's always a great place about this track is people searching for that groove and whatnot, and also for that track temperature. I don't know if you heard it from the devs as well, but the rumor I've always heard is concrete tracks especially take the heat even worse, so you want to be searching around at concrete tracks even more.
Yeah, we saw that in the practice session and qualifying. So early on when we went out, that's just the first open in practice, the track depth was like 73, and Joe and I both turned 29.6s, and as the practice session went on, got up to 78, 77, and we struggled to get into 29.9. So track's real sensitive temperature. We put me and my teammates put a lot of time in this week, and you see it there with Steve out front. I laughed because about 10 laps in, he said he had no speed, and I was like, yeah, I've heard that before. He'll be there at the end. So Steve's been really good on long runs. So I think he'll get a top 5 here and be in good shape.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I tell you what, Steve Ritter, new race leader, first laps he's led here tonight, and some bonus points as well, because we know he needs every point he can get, because who would have guessed Steve Ritter would be below the cut line here coming into the cutoff race of the round of 15. But I tell you what, pressure on him. He is doing great and starting to check out from the field here even.
Yeah, absolutely. Dover last week was tough on him. He got damaged early on, and he pitted in lap 35, and his right front was 34% in 35 laps. It got down to 34%. So that's why he parked it, to get that fixed, to get back out there. He was going to be multiple laps down, and that really hurt him. But, I mean, look at this right now. I think the two guys that are going to, if it stays like this, the two guys that are going to suffer is going to be Joe Hudson and Chris Broger. I think right now Joe and Chris will be the two guys out, and I think Brandon would definitely crawl his way back in up as would Steve. And I think looking at the running order here, probably, yeah, I would say Eli and Nick and Johnny are all going to be good there. So if it stays like it is now.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be wild to see how it shakes on out here. As Calatoni, big time loose there off of turn number 4. Second time we've seen that tonight here from Calatoni. And Rob, how tough is it to get off these corners? Because we see now many of times, over a handful of times, drivers having trouble off of turn number 4.
Yeah, it's the seam. So you can drive across the seam. You can't drive with either your right front or your right rear on the seam for any length of time. So if you watch Steve there and Jim Ott too, I noticed Jim was very, very thoughtful of it when he was out in front of me and behind me. You have to cross the seam. We found it earlier in the week in practice. If you go in there and you try to run your right rear or your right front on the seam, you'll either spin out or push like a dump truck. And what happened down in 1 and 2, you'll go in there and if your right front's on that seam the right front will skate, and then when your right rear hits it, the right rear skates, and then you're up into the wall. And I think if you would go back, oh, we got a yellow out. If you go back and look at Joe Hudson's wreck, I think that's kind of what happened to him there. He got on the scene.
Gotcha, good to know. And yeah, we got Anthony Calatoni here stopped on the racetrack. So I guess before we take a look here at the replay, see what happened, Rob will let you get back to it. But before we do, of course, I know there's a lot of people you got to thank here.
Come on back.
Yeah, I want to thank our sponsors. I want to thank Riptide Radio, GStone Motors, Stone Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, BG Graphix, DTL, who am I forgetting? Turn 3 Racing Network. Admin Box came on last week, a couple weeks ago. I want to thank them. And I think that's it. I want to thank my teammates for the practice we did this week. I'm not going to get the result, but those other guys out there are going to get a good result from it. And a place like this, that's what it comes down to, is practice.
Oh, 100%. Well, Rob, appreciate the time here that you take to chat with us here. It's always a great conversation, and we appreciate the little bit of driving tidbits too. So always great to pick your brain a little bit, and we'll let you get back to it and help cheer on those teammates here to hopefully make this next round. So Rob, you have yourself a great rest of the night.
Okay, thanks, Brett. You too.
Alrighty, well, awesome stuff there. And man, I tell you what, I love chatting with Rob Lowell. He always has some great wisdom to be had here. And let's take a look here, see what brought out the 5th caution of the night here. Off of turn number 2, Anthony Calatoni. We saw him get loose a few laps ago. Then after that gets big time sideways. Oh, and then Johnny Barker gets sideways. With that, that's what hooks Anthony Calatoni. And then, oh no, Mike Kelly kind of been on the alternate strategy all night long, just being an innocent bystander there. And he will get a big piece of it. And yeah, those 3 cars involved, this time involving 2 more playoff drivers. Luckily for Calatoni, he has a lot of points in the bank there. Doesn't have to worry about that aspect. But man, it has been an eventful here for the cutoff race. Now over halfway done, and with that, Jim Ott pit road penalty. Doesn't matter. The 4 car back to the race lead here. So we see Johnny Barker here trying to get extensive repairs done on that race car. He will get that thing rolling. Same with Mike Kelly. He is back out here on the racing surface. So Calatoni will also get rolling. So all 3 of the cars that were involved there, all still back out here in the racing. I should say in the race, let's say, right? And it's going to see what their cars have for pace. Up towards the front, we are back double filed on up here. Jim Ott going to lead the field back to green here, but Brandon Guerin, the other car on the front row. So it'll be the 4 and the 1 on the front row. Nate Brooker and Jeff Pogo, row number 2. Then Eli Raposa and Frank Zingen, row number 3. I tell you what, I'm trying to keep an eye on, how the points will look, where cars are running. And man, this has flip-flopped around so many times, the drivers being in, being out. It's going to be wild to see how it shakes on out. And this will pretty much leave about a 50-lap shootout when it's all said and done. So here we go. Jim Ott going to be back on the loud pedal here. We head back to green flag racing here at Chicagoland. Side by side by the front row there at the start. Brandon Guerin going to be able to get around Jim Ott for the time being. Ott maybe blocking in maybe a little bit of Nate Brooker. Here comes Frank Zingen with a big head of steam. Zingen will give Jeff Pogo there a big shot going down the back straightaway. Zingen looking for some daylight to the outside of the 97. Not going to have it, but here at the start finish line, Brandon Guerin will lead a lap as well as pick up a very, very important bonus point. So man, oh man, Hoonigan Racing doing some great racing right now. They currently sit in the top 3, trying to kind of determine how this race will go here tonight. And right now sitting in some really, really good spots. Drivers on fresh tires, that being Scott Simley and Steve Ritter, both pitted under that last caution, both trying to make up positions. Remember, about the top 3 all on old tires besides Nate Brooker, who sits in 5th. So we got to keep an eye out for the pace of those race cars, see how they shake on out. Right now doing a great job. And how about this, Mike Kelly involved in that last caution. He is making his way once again through the field as Mike Kelly up to P number 6. So out in front, Jim Ott has taken over the race lead once again over Brandon Guerin. They sit 1-2, now P number 3 going to Scott Simley with those fresher tires. So Simley led the field to the green flag. He is back up into a podium spot here. Right behind them, Steve Ritter, Jeff Pogo leaning on each other a little bit. Ritter and Pogo inches apart from one another. Man, that is close racing there as one car ducking out of line. I believe that is the 2-car Nick Larson. Larson, I think, got loose there off the turn number 4. Keeps that race car underneath him, but that could have been bad as, oh, we got cars around. Cars into the front stretch wall as Brandon Guerin goes on around. Brandon Guerin will get that car rolling here through the infield grass, but man, more trouble for another playoff driver as we take a look here, see what happened as off of turn number 4. It looks like Steve Ritter going to get into the back of Brandon Guerin. You can see those cars going over the bumps, going over those seams that Rob Lowe mentioned. And yeah, then Steve Ritter just into the back of the one car, never got off. And oh man, Mike Kelly just making evasive maneuvers, ends up taking himself out instead of Brandon Guerin. I mean, from a playoff standpoint, man, Mike Kelly doing a great job not impacting these playoffs here tonight, but man, involved in 2 now incidents, last 2 incidents at that, of none of his own doing. So we see Brandon Guerin here after that slide coming down on pit road, going to take a set of those tires. Same with Jim Ott and Jeff Pogo. So now the tire advantage will flip to those drivers, about a 10-lap tire advantage, all things considered. So with us under our 6th caution of the night, we'll go throw it on over to a quick commercial break here from Chicagoland.
Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today, and remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one.
Yeah, that's the first time I really noticed it here on iRacing, but for some reason the pace car here at Chicagoland uses the apron, so I thought that was wild, had to point it on out. I've never seen the pace car really go down on the apron at any other track, so that's definitely something wild. But speaking about something wild, we get ready for our 6th restart of the night. It's going to be Scott Simley in the 33 machine. He led at the green flag here, going to lead here on this 6th restart. The other car in the front row going to be Steve Ritter in the 61. And what do we say we do a little turn 3, turn it up to kick off this 6th restart of the night? So we're going to go ride on board. Let's say maybe with Steve Ritter, and then do, of course, the speed shots here. So let's get a view of what it's like to go through a restart here at Chicagoland in the next-gen car. Man, I tell you what, we saw that there, no caution coming on out, but a big time hit for Nate Brooker there. Brooker hard into the outside wall there off of turn number 2. He gets that thing safely back down to pit road, and we are currently still under the green flag here tonight. Out in front, Scott Simley continues to lead the way here over Steve Ritter. Then fresh tires already into the top 3. Jim Ott has once again sliced and diced his way through the field. Jim Ott up to P number 3, trying to get second away from Steve Ritter. Right behind them, Arabia Caton and Johnny Barker here side by side. This is a battle for the 5th position, as Barker will get clear for a second in 1 and 2 and get clear off in 2. Wow, that was pretty close, but they will make it work there. And I tell you what, a lot of good runs by some drivers that needed it. I mean, drivers below the cut line here tonight, there were 3 of them. All 3 of them sit in the top 6. We just got to put it together. This last about 37 or so laps here left in this one. Battle for second, done and over with. Jim Ott around Steve Ritter. Now only 1 car in front of him. He sets his sights on Scott Simley. We head back here to Caton, now trying to get around Frank Zingen for the 5th position. So Caton trying to drive his way back into the top 5. Gonna do just that. Here comes now Brandon Guerin after that slide through the grass. He is pretty much right back to where he was running before. So man, oh man, it's gonna be wild to see how this shakes on out here left in this one. A little bit deeper in the field here, Jeff Pogo starting to put some pressure on Jason Wiley. It's been a minute since we've seen Jason Wiley in the 13 machine. Great to see him on back. Always love to see him out there. And right now, Wiley putting together a solid race. He is the 2nd best non-playoff driver and the only other non-playoff driver here in the top 10. So Jeff Pogo able to get to the outside here of Wiley. Those two side by side here down the front straightaway. Jeff Pogo should be able to get on around it. I'm not sure if Pogo has damage or what happened, but about 20 or so laps ago, the 97 just seems to not quite have the blistering pace that he maybe had earlier in this run. We head back now to a 3-car battle right behind Jeff Pogo. That is Wiley, Larson, and Raposa as well. Larson currently to the inside of Wiley. Side by side here through turns 1 and 2, and off of turn number 2, Larson will get clear. Wiley, a big time moment there. He's able to keep that race car underneath him. Heck of a save there by Jason Wiley. As we start to approach this countdown clock out here tonight, that of course comes down with about 25 laps left in this one, so about 8 or so laps away, so definitely getting close to that. And then of course, remember folks, here tonight, conclusion of the round of 15, we are going to eliminate 5 cars, and then next week kick off the round of 10 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Brandon Guerin starting to put some brake time pressure on the 30 machine. Let's ride on board with Caton, looking on back here to the 1 car. Once again, we've kind of seen it here. Lap time's not really falling off too much when it comes down to, tire wears. You see Brandon Guerin there pull the crossover move, have the run up on the top side, pull that car down low, use the triangle, and Brandon Guerin once again into the top 5 here tonight. So Scott Simley here, we'll see now 30 laps to go here tonight in this one. He of course leads the way last time by Simley about a 10th better than Jim Ott. So Scott Simley has grabbed another gear here into this run. His 33 machine looking very sporty. Jim Ott, one of, if not the car to beat here tonight, had to battle adversity of being off cycle, a pit road penalty, but Ott up to P number 2. Steve Ritter coming into tonight below the cutoff line, needed himself a good night doing just that. Steve Ritter sits in P number 3. Then Johnny Barker here sits in 4. So Barker, one of those drivers in this Wolfpack race and put a lot of practice times into tonight. He's showing the payoff from that in P number 4. Brandon Guerin, of course, last caution to slide through the grass. He has rebounded back up into 5th. And how about this? Ariba Kane, man, I tell you what, heck of a night from him. He sits P number 6. He was another one coming in below the cutoff line. Needed himself a great race. He's doing just that, and some great speed from that. Caton sits in 6th. 7th going to Frank Zingen. I mean, one of the hottest drivers here in these playoffs. Coming into tonight, Zingen 2nd in points. And then Jeff Pogo, he now takes over that 7th position. Was running in 8th. Like I said, Pogo, I don't know what happened, about 30 laps to go. Just doesn't have that blistering pace here in the 97. Nick Larson currently running in the 9th position. He's looking for a decent night. Make sure he gets those points. Make it to that round of 10. Right now, he should be looking good. Then it is Eli Raposa here rounding out the top 10. Another one of those drivers just inside the cutoff line. He'll be right there on the bubble as well. Anthony Calatoni here after big spin damage to that 84. He sits 11th. 12th, we haven't talked too much about him tonight. Ron Holyfield up 6 positions from where he started. He's having himself a solidly quiet night. Now trying to get 11th from Calatoni and going to do just that here through 1 and 2. Then Jason Wiley here, the 13 machine, sits P number 13. And then man, Steve Vest out here clicking off the laps, making his way up towards the front. He is in the top 15, Vest 6th, 14th. And that pretty much sits all the drivers here that are out here tonight still racing. As Brandon Guerin now under fire from Nick Larson. Guerin not able to get around Caton. Now Jeff Pogo will maybe try his hand, as here we go, a 5-car battle. Heating up here right as we go into the countdown clock here tonight. Down the front straightaway they go. Jeff Pogo able to get clear, so Jeff Pogo into the top 5. Maybe Pogo was just saving his stuff, biding his time, and once he hit that magic lap number, he says, you know what, we're going to turn it up, see what we got. And right now, that 97 looking pretty sporty, as here we go. Battle for this position here. Brandon Guerin, Nick Larson side by side here through 3 and 4. Those two not really getting separated from each other, so that can slow them on down a little bit for the time being. Should be interesting to see who gets around first, because they got to be careful, because we're not on board with him. Frank Zingen sits right behind them as well. So this is right here is going to be a very interesting 3-car battle. Each of these drivers need as many points as they can get, so they are going to race each other very, very hard, as if it was a race win here. That's why we see them still all side by side. Should be interesting to see how it all shakes on out. As here we go, almost 3 wide there, but Kane able to shut the door there for the time being. This time by at the stripe, we will see now 20 laps left in this one, as Nick Larson still getting that top side rolling. Brandon Guerin with a big run, 3 wide here on the start-finish line. Looks like Caden will pull the smart move there, lift on out, make sure he doesn't take himself out of the race. I like that call there by the 30 machine, but still, Larson and Guerin still side by side out here tonight. Brandon Guerin, though, will drive it in there deep, will get clear, so the 1 car will hang on to P number 6, and at the moment, Brandon Guerin, the biggest mover of the race, up a whopping 11 positions when it's all said and done here currently. Out in front, though, Scott Simley continues to set the pace for the field, though. Jim Ott starting to get close to the draft. Now down the front straightaway, Jim Ott definitely within the draft here of Scott Simley, so here late in this one, we could see a battle for the race lead before it's all said and done. Brandon Guerin here starting to find the pace once again in this 1 machine, able to get around Jeff Pogo, so Brandon Guerin back into the top 5. Here comes now Nick Larson. Larson going to try and get around Pogo, can't quite do it here. Will fall in line for the time being. Larson through 3 and 4, going to run more the middle lane. Jeff Pogo going to defend this top side. Going to try and keep the momentum in that 97 machine. Larson will drive it in there deep, try and get clear. Pogo will stay on the right rear quarter panel. So these two still going to be side by side here down the back straightaway. Best battle on the speedway, only battle on the speedway, is this battle for this 6th position. Nick Larson once again almost clear into turn number 1. Couldn't quite get it done. Jeff Pogo gonna stay true to that top side, keep that momentum in that 97 machine, and these guys have been battling hard the last, I want to say, coming up to about 5 laps or so. These two still side by side out here. That time by, though, at the start finish line, we see now 15 to go here in this one. Deeper in the field, Eli Raposa able to get around Frank Zingen. So Raposa up to P number 6 here late in this one. And then finally, Nick Larson able to get around Jeff Pogo for that 6th position. What does Pogo have left in the tank here? Pogo will put it up against the fence, putting it in that kind of 3rd groove in between those seams. Jeff Pogo, big run here down the back straightaway. Gonna follow Nick Larson. Interesting call there. I thought for sure Pogo would pull that 97 machine to the inside of Larson. Not gonna do it, at least that time by. Anthony Calatoni here having to do some damage repair. Actually had to pit there, got a pit road penalty, so Calatoni, the only driver really any laps down. He sits 3 laps down, but luckily for Calatoni, having himself a great first 2 races. He did what he needed to do, let's say, in those first 2 races for this round to make sure he moves on to the round of 10 here. Up in front here, Jim Ott has reeled in Scott Simley to about 3 car lengths, so let's ride on board with Jim Ott. Take a look at lap times here. Last time by, Jim Ott about 1/2 of a second faster. That time by as well, once again, 1/2 advantage to Jim Ott. So Ott just about to be within striking distance right at the closing stages here tonight. Scott Simley, I think, looking for his first career win. Let me double check here the stats. We'll take a look here, see what we got. Scott Simley looking for his first win. Now here comes Jim Ott to the inside. So we have Jim Ott looking for the perfect final race of the round of 15 to make sure he makes it to the round of 10. And Scott Simley out here chasing checkered flags. He's looking for his first career win with the 802 iRacing League. This time by, we will see single digits laps left in this one here, folks. 9 to go at the stripe. Scott Simley has the race lead, but Jim Ott right there as well. Looking a little bit deeper in the field here, Frank Zingen starting to lose the pace a little bit in the 62 machine. Steve Vest able to get on around, same with Ron Holyfield. Holyfield has driven his way into the top 10. He sits in 9th. Now Holyfield trying to get around Eli Raposa. Raposa next car in front of the 25. As we'll keep an eye on this battle here. Best battle on the speedway right here on the racetrack. As those leaders start to get battling, we'll of course go up to that, but for the time being, we're going to see if Ron Holyfield can get around Eli Raposa. If Raposa's got the pace right now, he's got the pace, starting to walk away from the 25 up towards the front. Jim Ott starting to throw the kitchen sink at it. He's trying to get everything he can out of that race car because he knows if he gets a run, he is going to have to take it. Once again, we see Scott Simley head down to the bottom side of that racetrack. Gonna drift on up. Here comes Jim Ott with a big run. Ott maybe had to use a little bit of wheel right at corner exit right to the wall, so not gonna have a super big run here down the front straightaway, but Jim Ott definitely trying to size up Scott Simley, see where he can make a move, see what kind of move he can make. Jim Ott going to put it on the fence here through 3 and 4. Once again, Scott Simley down to the bottom side. Let that car wash on out. Man, it's going to be tough to get by Simley, but that time by an open palm from the flag, man. 5 laps left in this one. Deeper in the field. Oh, we get a caution flag here on the speedway. So if this race wasn't crazy enough, we are going to have a green-white checker to end the round of 15. As I believe, yeah, the caution may have been here. The 62 machine of Frank Zingen loose off of turn number 2. You see him weaving that race car, trying to hang on to it. And oh, there's what caused the caution there. Frank Zingen into the grass a little bit later. And then with Jason Wiley going on by on the racetrack, that is what set it on off. So here we go. If any driver has a set of tires left in the pits, they're going to use that set here and try and set them on up for a green-white checkered. Man, it's about to get crazy here, folks. So we will take a look here, see if any cars do in fact have any sets of tires. And it looks like the front 2 will. Steve Ritter going to stay on out. Same with Jim Ott. The only car coming down on pit road is going to be Scott Simley, then Ron Holyfield, Caton, Vest, Wiley Zingen, and Anthony Calatoni, of course, still down on pit road. So it looks like it's going to be in total about 7 cars staying out on old tires for a green-white checkered. The rest of the field going to come on in, put a set of tires on, so the field split halfway right down the middle. And that means it's going to be an interesting call here for the likes of the 1 car, Brandon Guerin. He's going to have to hold on to as many positions as he can. Same with the 61 of Steve Ritter, but I have a feeling with Ritter P number 2, it's going to be tough for those tires to make their way through the field in time. So with this, we'll go to one final commercial break here and get ready for our first attempt at a green-white checkered here to close out the round of 15 at Chicagoland.
Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one.
Alrighty, folks, we come back here for a green-white checkered. I was also told to maybe take a look here at the previous yellow. So we'll do that after this race or if we get another caution. But here we go. First attempt at a green-white checkered. Jim Ott elects the high side here on the restart. That puts all 3 Hoona Gang Racing cars in a line. You have to think they will be on top of this restart. It's going to be wild to see how this works on out, as here we go. We got to go high above the track, up here in the spotter stand, as we get ready for a green-white checkered here at Chicagoland. The iRacing pace car here heads to pit road. Jim Ott going to be in control. Ott will fire on off. We head back to green flag racing with a green-white checkered. Jim Ott down and away by himself out in front. What else does everyone have in store? Brandon Guerin up to P number 2. Do we make it on around to the white flag? If we do, this race is official. Ritter and Jeff Pogo side by side here for that third position. Hoonigang Racing trying to make it a top 3 sweep as we get the white flag here. This race is official. We are racing back to the checkered. Contact into turn number 1 between Ritter and Pogo. Deeper in the field, quite a few cars duking it on out, but we got to keep an eye on this. More door banging between the two of them. Ritter and Pogo lean on each other. How will this come to a head? We'll find out here through 3 and 4. Ritter's going to get tight, push Pogo up towards the fence. They get hooked together. They go to the fence, and it will be Steve Ritter with the P number 3 position. Oh man, those two aren't going to be happy with each other. We're going to keep an eye on this. Pogo going to display his displeasure there, and oh no, more drama here, but for the name of the game, Jim Ott seemed like he was the car to beat, and Jim Ott will bring it to victory lane with sparks, tempers flying, and that's what we get with these round racing here with the 802 iRacing League. Jim Ott gonna bring it to the start finish line and get ready to celebrate a well-deserved win here tonight at Chicagoland. As Jim Ott burns it on down here at the start-finish line, we're going to go here, get ready for our post-race interviews and our post-race show. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back after this. As real quick, we're going to go actually take a look here what set up the green-white checkered. Going to ride on board here with Frank Zing, and of course a little bit further back. And yeah, interesting there, kind of stepping that car out. That thing just getting out of his way, and then man, that's an interesting one there with some downshifts and whatnot. But that is the incident there. Had to show it there to what set up that drama-filled green-white checkered. So don't go anywhere, folks. We got a lot to talk about here in the post-race show.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we are back here at Chicagoland Speedway, getting ready for our post-race interviews. I think the 61 might not be available here at the time, so we'll get the next best finisher here. The first driver we'll be talking to here tonight will be the driver of the One Machine. We'll try and get a word here with Brandon Guerin. Brandon, you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, buddy, we got you, Brett. How we doing?
Oh man, we are doing pretty good. How are you feeling after 140 laps plus here at Chicagoland?
Feeling all right. I mean, already uploaded the points, so we see that we have come up short. So, but we gave it everything we got tonight. Yeah, I mean, the whole team had a great run. We almost had the top three swept there, but yeah, just it wasn't in the cards to advance after a couple of bad races. I mean, that Michigan race is still the one that'll haunt me, just the disconnection. But other than that, great run tonight. Glad my teammate Jim won. He had a great car all night, and yeah, it was a good race.
Yeah, that it was. And man, how about cutting it close with the points? I mean, Brandon, you did everything in your power besides, I guess, winning the race here tonight. Laps led, in contention. Man, it sucks to come up that short, right?
Yeah, it does. I guess I just needed my teammates' help a little bit to kind of clear the way of some other drivers. I mean, that's kind of seemed like the theme tonight. So it is what it is. We can hold our heads high and know that we did it in a clean way. So it is what it is.
Oh yeah, and I mean, like you said, I mean, that Michigan race is going to haunt you without that disconnect. Probably for sure going to the round of 10, but overall, man, you make the playoffs. That's always a great accomplishment in and of itself, right? To have the chance here, and I tell you what, man, you had some good pace. I mean, overall, biggest mover. How were you able to get the pace here tonight?
Well, biggest mover might be a little bit of a blemish just because I didn't set a practice lap at all. So I might have went a little too easy on the qualifying lap, but qualifying is never my strong suit anyway. So we ended up just being patient, just like my teammates told me all night. Just be patient, race your race, and you never know what can happen. And yeah, we got through there. I mean, we thought our tire strategy was going to work out, and it just kept flopping back and forth with the caution. So to come out second it's still a great night. And yeah, now I got nothing else to worry about the rest of the season except I'm going to the front. So that's all I'm chasing. Those checker flags. No, I don't care about points.
Yep, that's going to be the case, and I think that's when you're at your best too, right? Going out there chasing those checker flags, not having to stress. Because I assume, just like many drivers coming into tonight, man, there was a lot of pressure on your shoulders.
Yeah, I mean, I won't lie. I mean, being the one that was the furthest back, I knew it was going to be the hardest to leap drivers. So it was going to take a lot of things, but I kind of had the same mentality that, like I just said, like I'm just trying to get to the front. And that's how I raced tonight. And there was times where I wasn't being as easy as I probably should have, but it is what it is. And we still came away with it. And the car's in one piece. Didn't have really any incidents of my own according. I got a little spun around, but we recovered from that.
Yeah, I was going to say, we want to go back, highlight that incident, kind of the biggest moment of the night for you. What kind of did you feel like happened to you there? And I'm glad the car was all right because you were able to quickly make your way back into the top 5.
I just feel like there was no patience with drivers who had fresher tires. I mean, obviously we're going to be a little bit slower, and yeah, just a little bit of no patience, but that's fine. That's racing. I get it. But yeah, I mean, that wasn't even the worst one. There was one where right in front of Mike Kelly, I clipped the apron a little bit too much. I got sideways on him. I think there was another one later in the race. I was sideways through 4. Jeff said stop drifting it. So I definitely was pushing the car to the limit, Brad. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're definitely wheeling it. And then, we got to, of course, end things off. Of course, the round of 15 has to end with a green-white checkered. How are you feeling with that, though? All your teammates lined up on the top. That had to be a little bit reassuring.
So it felt good, and I was trying to play the balance of like, because I want to win the race too. I know that's going to help me if I win the race, but I couldn't. I couldn't pass Jim. I mean, he was really strong, and I knew I had a chance once we would clear the guys, but it was just going to be too hard. And yeah, knowing that if I would have got that win, I would have actually advanced. Is something that like I was risking between overdriving it and possibly wrecking my teammate or advancing. So
Well,
I
I
took the
tell you
safer
what,
route, but it is what it is.
I was gonna say you took the higher ground there, Brandon. Didn't drive it in, firewall deep. You're able to, like you said, bring the car home in one piece here, and a runner-up finish, man. Nothing to scoff at, especially with the drivers we had here tonight and everyone racing for everything on the line, right?
Yep. I thought for the most part there was a lot of give and take. A lot of the non-playoff drivers really gave everybody else a lot of room, and yeah, it was a good hard battle, but in the end we come up a little short in the war, but we had a good battle day, Brett. So we'll take that momentum, and we got 6 more races, and I'm gonna try to get 6 more wins. I haven't
Yep,
got one yet, so I got to get one, Brett.
exactly. You picked up a win a few weeks ago on the Busch side of things. It's only a matter of time for the Cup side. Speaking about that, how are you feeling about Las Vegas next week?
I feel good. I mean, won there last year in the Cup car. It's another multi-groove track. It should be real fun, and yeah, I mean, it's not the same exact track as here, but similar in a way. And yeah, with my teammates, I feel real confident with like the data and the stuff that we all shared during the race that we'll be up front again, competing for another win. And I'm
Alrighty,
gonna do everything I can to make sure that one of those two guys wins this championship.
Yep, and I tell you what, if you need a teammate on your team, Brandon, you're one of the best when it comes to that and whatnot. So, well, man, awesome job here tonight. I tell you what, it, with you not making the next round, it wasn't a lack of effort, especially here tonight. Come up with a runner-up finish, Brandon. But before we let you go and celebrate this runner-up finish, I'm sure there's got to be a lot of people you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you'd like to give a shout out to here tonight.
Yeah, Brett. First of all, as always, it's the kids, Bryson and Brody. Then I'm gonna thank my teammates, Jeff and Jim. Congratulate Jim also on the win. All the sponsors on my car, mostly Red Bull. You for putting on the broadcast. Obviously, everything that we do for the league. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. Well, Brandon, sadly, your playoff hopes come to an end here tonight, but that doesn't mean we won't see you out on track here some more. So you, my man, have yourself a great rest of the night, and we'll catch you next Friday and, of course, next Sunday.
Yeah, we'll see you, Brett. Thanks.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was our runner-up finisher, the driver of the one car, Brandon Guerin. And now let's head down to Victory Lane and talk to the man of the hour. It is the driver of the number 4 machine. It is Jim Ott. Jim, do you got a copy?
I got you, Brett.
Alrighty, man. First and foremost, how are we feeling after an eventful 140 plus laps here at Chicagoland?
Couldn't be better. Couldn't be better, man. What an awesome race. Gosh, man, we'll battle all night long. Put myself in a bad spot again and then had to dig out, but had the speed all night. Definitely had the mid-long run car all night and pulled it off, man. Did what we had to do to get in the next round. So happy. So happy.
Yeah, and I mean, big picture, you make the next round and, get to the reset, you're able to just squeak on by. I mean, I'm looking at the points here, and I mean, yeah, able to jump on in quite a bit, of course, with the win bonus as well. But yeah, man, tell us about these playoffs as well, first and foremost, for Michigan with I believe the disconnect, right? And then to rebound 6 at Dover, and then a win here tonight.
Yeah, Michigan, that was heartbreaking, man. I always have that one circled, as you know, and had the connection issues and went out early with a strong car. And, Dover, very good track for us and ran really well there, man. I think we end up getting ourselves in a hole there, going 3 laps down and still finding a way to finish P6. So this was the the must, man. We had to run up front, had to. all the playoff contenders and the bubble guys were running up front. So I didn't have a choice. I felt good coming in, but wow, I mean, what a battle! And honestly, I gotta say some with Scott. What a battle him and I had, man. Hats off to him. Um, he had that dirty air in front of me, but I was working for about 25 laps, and um, I think if I would have got a run, I may have had a chance. But I hate seeing that yellow. But either way, we had the good side of it, and yeah, hell of a race.
Yeah, that it was. And I tell you what, I was not looking forward to that yellow, even from the broadcast standpoint, because, man, you and Scott were about to really start brawling there. I mean, you to run him down. And then, yeah, like you said, putting that dirty air, playing the games that, everyone's going to be able to do. And, man, that was going to be a barn burner of a battle for a win there.
Yeah, it sure was, man. And again, hats off to Scott. What a battle, but even more so, these teammates tonight of mine, with Jeff and Brandon, man, they played a significant part of tonight's win. The restarts were huge, and I had both those guys behind me tonight and able to launch off like I needed to, and yeah, it was just really a team effort. It truly was, but yeah, man, I couldn't be happier. What a great race. I'm exhausted.
Oh, I bet you are. And yeah, we gotta go back. So that green white checkered, you decided to not pit. Did you have any more tires over the wall one? And was that the game plan that say, hey, you know what? We know fall off's not too bad. We can fire off. All right, we need the track position.
Yeah, I actually used it back with about 40 to go, so that last caution. But I'd say even being out there on 20 lap tires on the previous cautions, I think it was number two, being in clean air, it really didn't matter. That was more beneficial to have new tires. It was just so tough in that dirty air tonight to get around somebody, and um, yeah, I would have stayed out, honestly. I would say if Scott didn't pit, it would have been difficult getting around him at that last restart. So got a little bit of lucky there, but hey, we'll take it.
Yeah, and here tonight, also, down on pit road, you got busted a little bit earlier under caution for speeding in pits, had to go to the end of the longest line. I mean, how do you re-rack from that mid-race, knowing all at stake and all those other playoff cars in front of you as you came into tonight, even below the cutoff line?
Yeah, that's frustrating. I actually got it on entry. Not sure why. I had it honed or had it cut down to the speed limit. I don't know if it's because I accelerated before the cone. But they got me. Jeff had to calm me down a little bit, so I was kind of racing angry there. Trying to get my positions back while trying to save some tire, but um, yeah, man, that was frustrating. But we did it, and yeah, here we are.
Yep, into the next round, another win on the season as well. And I mean, Jim, when it comes to these mile and a half, 2 mile tracks, this four car seems like one of, if not one of the cars to beat. And good news for you, we start the round of 10 next week at Las Vegas. How you feeling about that place?
Great. I love Las Vegas, man. It should be a hot track, should be a slick track, should be a fast track. So definitely looking forward to it. Looking for exactly what I needed, that just refresh of points and clean slate. And I just need to clean things up. I can't emphasize it enough. I got to limit the mistakes because it's just going to hurt even more now getting into the gauntlet here. So yeah, I'm gonna be working hard on that and just trying to execute in every facet of the race.
Oh, for sure. That's definitely the way it's got to be here. And I'm taking a look here at your stats. I believe was your no, you won last season, right? As well with the 802 boys, because this is career win number two for you, right? As well.
I'm not sure. It sounds about right. I know I've given a lot away, but yeah. I don't know. I think it was the first year, and then I took the last year off, and I came back this year. So, um, Yeah, 2 sounds good. I'm hoping to grow from it.
Yeah, I tell you what, the second one coming in at a big time right here at the conclusion of round of 15 here at Chicagoland. And yeah, man, I tell you what, it was awesome to see you slice and dice your way up through this field many of times here tonight. And yeah, it seemed like this 4 car was on rails. I mean, what'd you figure out here from Chicagoland? We heard a little bit of talks about some bumps and then, of course, the seams. Where'd you kind of find the magic at without giving too much away, of course?
Yeah, for me, it was just being patient on the bottom. I found a lot of grip on the bottom. I was able to really wrap the bottom, mostly on 3. I could do my typical arc in 1 and 2, my diamond, but it was really just running where guys weren't, and I could run a little bit lower than everybody in both sides of the track, and it was just enough to keep the nose clean, get a little, that clean air, and wrap the bottom. So, Scott's the only reason why I had to go up to the top, but I was comfortable ripping the top too. So, um, but yeah, I think it was just running where guys weren't.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like the name of the game, getting that clean air on the nose. Well, Jim, it's been a pleasure talking to you here tonight. Always a great time, my man, and we appreciate the time here. Before we let you go, continue to celebrate down in Victory Lane. We, of course, got to hand over the mic to you. So, who do you got to thank, Jim? Whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you'd like to give a shout out to on the broadcast for the win here tonight and the advancement to round number 10.
For sure. First and foremost, man, my wife and my kiddo, and if you would like, or he would like to say something real quick, if you don't mind. So one sec.
Yeah, hey guys. I just want to talk for a sec. My dad is a very good racer and all of his friends.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
That's my 8-year-old man. One of my biggest fans, my biggest fan, dude. He's amazing. But yeah, thank you, Brett. Always appreciate the broadcast. Riptide Radio, Rob, this league, man, it's been an absolute blast, and just can't wait till next week.
Alrighty, that we can't wait as well. And Jim, we look forward to seeing what you can do here in the playoffs. You make it to the next round, clean slate. It's going to be awesome. So, Jim, you, my man, have yourself a great rest of the night, and I'm sure we'll be talking again here in the near future.
All right, thank you, Brett.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was Jim Ott down in Victory Lane, getting the job done here tonight at Chicagoland, as well as advancing to the round of 15. So, why don't I go here real quick and show everyone the standings, let's say. So here's how it all worked on out. I'm actually going to go grab a quick snippet if I can. Hopefully this doesn't break everything. So we'll see what this does here, but hopefully we're looking pretty good. I believe we are. So yeah, I don't mind the old snipping tool here, but up in your screen, we can see the current playoff standings of what cars make it and what don't. So we can see here how it all cycles on out. Anthony Calatoni advancing. Jeff Pogo, good to go. Frank Zingen did what he needed to do. Jim Ott with the win here tonight jumps his way into the top 10. Johnny Barker also advances. Joe Hudson with the disconnect just makes it. Same with Nick Larson just getting on by. Same with Rob Lowell as well being involved in that incident. Eli Raposa will make it to the round of 10. And the final car to make it was the 61 of Steve Ritter. Those are going to be the 10 cars in the round of 10. Sadly, the drivers that were eliminated here after tonight are Brandon Guerin, just getting eliminated by 3 points, so 3 positions. Reba Caton, another one eliminated. Chris Progar, as well as Kip Easley and Dan Holcroft. So those are the 5 with their playoff chances erased from tonight. So that'll do it here tonight from Chicagoland. We got to thank each and every one of you guys here tuning on in, whether live or the replay. Appreciate every single click, and it goes a long way to myself. We also got to thank some league sponsors, that being BG Graphix, Riptide Radio, GStone Motorsports, as well as Admin Box and Stone Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. So yeah, that'll do it here for myself tonight. I'm Brett the Jet again with Turn 3 Racing Network. Be sure to tune in to Turn 3 throughout the week as we have a lot of great sim racing action most each and every night. So, yeah, that would do it. Turn 3 also partnered with Premier Setup Shops. You can find out more with the link in the description. So, yeah, that would do it. We'll catch you all next week for the start of the round of 10 next Sunday night at Las Vegas. It's going to be a good one. You won't want to miss it. So, everyone, take care, stay safe, and once again, I've been Brett the Jet in the booth, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.
Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a